O'Sullivan is. So the left-handed break off. Always breaks off left-handed. And switches to right.
Peggy Lee, meanwhile, desperately trying to restore order here. The crowd very excited at the prospect of watching the Rocket. He is hugely popular in these parts. He's popular everywhere, but perhaps even more so in China.
Well, that's something you don't see often nowadays. Player wearing glasses. Martin Gould. But I'm not sure if he needs glasses. He looks over the top of them, Martin. It's got to be a real disadvantage to need glasses and play in them. I've just got a glimpse there of Jason Ferguson, the World Snooker Chairman. Sat on the front row. Oh, a little flick off the yellow. Wow. Helped that cue ball into the pocket. So, leaves an early chance, this for Gareth. Red to the left corner. Good pot. And not a bad kiss on the black, but there is pressure to this. Yeah, nicely played. That was missable.
8.
And he could do with a good start against the Rocket. Packed house in for this match. And of course Gareth won't be used to this kind of attention. TV cameras, big crowd. All eyes upon him. Now played that well with the spider. Nice little stun shot round the back of the black.
9.
Well, he could have done with being a little bit straighter on this red to the middle. Had the angle to come round the two cushions with a lot of topspin.
17.
Again, played that one well. Just got the right amount of stun on the cue ball to finish nicely on this red. Everything going in cleanly at the moment for Gareth Allen. Pink is an option, although he is slightly the wrong side of the pink. Well, very aggressive shot that open in the reds.
29.
Could have played for the loose one, but still on the red to the right middle. And this time he misses it. He'll be disappointed there because he was going so well. And the crowd absolutely loved that one.
Crikey, you'd have thought he'd just won his 6th world title there. He's only potted one red.
And didn't finish on a colour.
Did you ever get that sort of rapturous applause, Joe? Actually, you did when you won the world title. The crowd were going bonkers, weren't they?
I was about to say, yeah, I did get it. It was in my house, though, but with all the kids, it sounded rapturous. Meanwhile, Gareth is in trouble. And with the red spread, this isn't going to be easy to escape and get it safe.
Foul. And miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan, 4. Happy with this, Ronnie?
Wasn't a bad attempt, just needed to be a little bit harder. Well, I don't think it's hard enough.
Foul. And miss.
Well, he might take the red to the middle this time round. He's a little straighter on it. If he gets the speed right here, Alan, he'd get it safe. So O'Sullivan is taking this red on. Stroked it in nicely.
O'Sullivan has had a very consistent season. He's featured in 3 major finals, European Masters, UK Championship and the Champion of Champions, but he hasn't won any of those. And his last ranking title was the 2016 Welsh Open, well over a year ago now, so he's due another big title.
Did win the Masters.
Ranking.
Yeah, in terms of ranking, but the Masters is a big one, isn't it? And all those finals that you just mentioned, you can never put anything past O'Sullivan, and he's great to watch.
15.
And things happen so quickly.
They do, and if he could go all the way this week, what a fillip that would be for him going into the Crucible.
He knew he'd overhit that one, or he got a big bounce. I suspect a big bounce.
22.
And he's out of position. Didn't make a song and dance about it, but I don't think he'd be 3 foot out of position, Ronnie O'Sullivan. And did he miss the ball there?
Certainly looked like it.
And miss. Ronnie O'Sullivan,
Confirmation
22.
from Peggy Lee, just
Gareth
missed the
Allen,
edge of the red.
4.
Yep.
So just 6 points between them. Both players have had a chance in this opening frame. Gareth Allen is obviously the massive underdog today, so with that in mind, a scrappy-ish opening frame to give himself the chance to get a feel for things is just what the doctor ordered, I guess.
Aye, and this is another chance as well, Philip. Ball's nicely spread if he can finish on a colour. He needs a good kiss.
1.
Well, he got a kiss, but it wasn't a good one. And I suspect he will roll it behind the green, or attempt to. Too tough to take the green on.
Gareth Allen.
Didn't want to risk playing up behind the green, but that is just as good, dead on the cushion. That was a better shot, that, from Gareth Green. Gareth Allen, should I say. And it forced the mistake from Ronnie O'Sullivan, catching that red too thin.
Way too thin. Cue ball travelling a good 9 feet further than intended.
Wasn't far away, and still isn't. But another chance for Rocket Ronnie. Just one safe red. And he will need it.
1.
Total of 8 matches going on in this evening session
6.
here in Beijing. Second round matches, places in the round of 32 up for grabs. Judd Trump is back at the
7.
table up against Ashley Hugill. And Trump's taken the opener. Ding Junhui on table 2, 1-0 up on Paul Davison. Ding, who was Dr. Frame yesterday in his opening round match because he was wearing the wrong sponsor's logo and as a result was late for the start of the match, but recovered to win 5-3.
10.
And Stephen Maguire underway against Fergal O'Brien. Maguire, one of those players who can't qualify
18.
for the World Championship at the Crucible as of right. He's going to have to come through qualifying. And of course, that means 3 matches, 3 wins required to get to Sheffield.
Twenty-four.
I'll misjudge that one. Got too much side on the cue ball, maybe got a big bounce as well. He was trying to finish on the pink there so he could move the red. Never easy.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 25.
And played position on the red. He didn't get ideally on it, another inch or so, and it'd have been ideal on the red. This is tough where it is. Good pot. And what a great chance this is for Gareth Allen. Oh, that's a positional shot on the green, and it's going to be very difficult to get to the brown now. Yes, you can pot the green and go around the table, but to get onto the brown is going to take some shot. In fact, didn't even attempt it.
11.
7 points in the game.
Gareth Allen, 11.
And a good safety. Well, if he used the black there, that was a clever shot he played. Could have caught the black thin, gone over the pocket. And a chance maybe to get that cue ball in behind the black. And decided to play the brown, and that's another poor safety. Needs a bit of luck, and he got it. Yeah, does the brown pass the black?
Brown and blue required.
Good pot on the brown. Played the white ball to the cushion just in case.
Well, it's been a scrappy opening frame, but it's gone the way of the red hot favourite, barring Snookers.
Well, that doesn't help, pushing the black onto the cushion. But it was Gareth that had that really good chance when he failed to get position on the green from the yellow.
So that wraps up the opening frame. No fireworks from Ronnie O'Sullivan, but the crowd don't care. They love to watch him play. And he has the first frame in the bag. He needs 4 more to go through to the last 32 here in Beijing, and we'll have frame 2 for you after the break. Very wet behind the ears as a pro. O'Sullivan looking to win a 29th ranking title, which will put him in second place on his own in the all-time list behind Stephen Hendry, who of course recently competed, Joe, in the World Seniors, but caught a bit of a cold, the pre-tournament favourite.
Yes, he didn't play as well as what we know he can play, but he was under a lot of pressure because of course he was expected to win, and when you haven't had any match play or practice as much as you used to do, the game isn't quite as easy. But it was great to see him, and he was great with the crowds. Fantastic champion, and hope he plays in it next year. The tournament was better for him in it.
Lost to the eventual champion Peter Lyons.
Yeah, full congratulations there to Peter, World Seniors champion, and did it as an amateur. Well, that wasn't far away at all, and hasn't left anything easy for Ronnie O'Sullivan. Played that as a shot to nothing. Had it gone in, could have won the frame. Didn't leave anything easy for Gareth, if it didn't. Well, that was a brave shot to take on. He knew he was leaving this red to the right corner, and it was a tough red. Could be very costly for Gareth.
6. 7. 13. Thank you, Ronnie. $14. 22.
Not bothered about leaving it on the left side of the table, just a little switch to left-handed. Oh, didn't play that one well. Wanted to come out of baulk, and that was a poor positional shot. Just got too much into the cue ball. And when you can play shots like that, what a good shot that was.
31.
Not ideally on the red, but a chance. Yeah, great recovery. Again,
that really was a terrific pot, wasn't it?
Just a little heavy, but got the angle to go into them. Played that well, nudging 2 or 3 reds out, and the crowd really liked that one. That was missable.
Well, in the space of 3 shots, O'Sullivan has turned a fairly unpromising position into an opportunity to double his lead.
And left that one short so he could screw off the reds, open more reds up, play it for the blue.
46.
Didn't really get hold of it, but could be on the pink. So, first big shot in this frame. Nicely played. That was the winner.
When you're as good as O'Sullivan, and there aren't many that are, of course, it only takes 1 or 2 really beautifully struck shots to suddenly find top gear. He was a bit scratchy in the first frame, but in the last couple of minutes, normal service resumed.
57.
Well, the pink and black may be available. A little switch to left-handed again.
Aggie needs 4 more to go through to the last 32 here in Beijing, and we'll have frame 2 for you after the break. Very wet behind the ears as a pro. O'Sullivan looking to win a 29th ranking title, which will put him in 2nd place on his own in the all-time list behind Stephen Hendry, who of course recently competed, Joe, in the World Seniors, but caught a bit of a cold, the pre-tournament favourite.
Yes, he didn't play as well as what we know he can play, but he was under a lot of pressure because of course he was expected to win, and when you haven't had any match play or practice as much as you used to do, the game isn't quite as easy. But it was great to see him, and he was great with the crowds. Fantastic champion, and hope he plays in it next year. the tournament was better for him in it.
Lost to the eventual champion Peter Lyons.
Yeah, full congratulations there to Peter, World Seniors champion, and did it as an amateur. Well, that wasn't far away at all, and hasn't left anything easy for Ronnie O'Sullivan. Played that as a shot to nothing. Had it gone in, could have won the frame. Didn't leave anything easy for Gareth if it didn't. Well, that was a brave shot to take on. He knew he was leaving this red to the right corner, and it was a tough red. Could be very costly for Gareth.
Six. 7. Thank you, Ronnie. $40. $22.
Not bothered about leaving it on the left side of the table, just a little switch to left-handed. Oh, didn't play that one well. Wanted to come out of baulk, and that was a poor positional shot. Just got too much into the cue ball. And when you can play shots like that, what a good shot that was.
31.
Not ideally on the red, but a chance. Yeah, great recovery.
Again, that really was a terrific pot, wasn't it?
Just a little heavy, but got the angle to go into them. Oh, played that well, nudging 2 or 3 reds out, and the crowd really liked that one. That was missable.
Well, in the space of 3 shots, O'Sullivan has turned a fairly unpromising position into an opportunity to double his lead.
And left that one short so he could screw off the reds, open more reds up, Play it for the blue.
46.
Didn't really get hold of it, but could be on the pink. So, first big shot in this frame. Nicely played. That was the winner.
When you're as good as O'Sullivan, and there aren't many that are, of course, it only takes one or two really beautifully struck shots to suddenly find top gear. He was a bit scratchy in the first frame, but in the last couple of minutes, normal service resumed.
57.
Well, the pink and black may be available. A little switch to left-handed again.
58.
Oh, surely it hasn't blocked the pocket. And does the red pass the pink into the baulk corner? He was unfortunate there. Just needed one more red. Pushing a red to the left side cushion and playing the safety. Not taking any risks, showing respect to his opponent.
It's a terrific break. Not quite a winning one.
I think that red may pass the pink, and he only needs the red.
It looked in. $64, I should say, the difference. 67 remaining, but that assumes that Alan takes blacks with the remaining reds.
Well, he could take the red on into the yellow pocket, but he's concerned that he may leave that red to the left middle. He could push the red past the pink to the cushion just above the middle pocket. Doesn't want to bring the red off the side cushion. He could even play the double, bring the cue ball back down the table. The red doesn't pass the black. Now playing that red in the baulk area, trying to cover the red over the right middle with the brown. And that must have drifted a little because he's left the red on.
Gareth Allen back at the table, 64 adrift, but there are 67 still on the table.
Well, that's a good pot. Has the angle on the pink to stun for the red by the black into the same pocket. Yeah, shake of the head because he thought he'd missed the pink because he hit it thick. The cue ball didn't travel far enough, so not ideally on this red. But another good pot. And now has the angle to try and bring that red off that left side cushion, which would leave him on the other red. He's missed it. But in the ideal place for a double, if he wants to risk it. No.
Gareth Allen 15.
To reduce the arrears to 49 with 51 on. O'Sullivan still just needs one ball to double his lead, barring Snooker's.
Didn't want to move the blue. That's in a nice place, that, for Ronnie O'Sullivan. But showing Gareth Allen lots of respect here. Another good safety. He needs that red to keep running. And it did run on, didn't it? Oh, what a cut. That's a great cut from Ronnie O'Sullivan. That's all he needed.
Had to hit that absolutely perfectly, which he did. So it's going to be 2-0 to the Rocket. Crowd lapping up every shot he plays. Must be such a buzz, mustn't it, to have that kind of support.
6.
And a bit intimidating for Gareth Allen, as if Ronnie O'Sullivan wasn't a tough enough assignment without the crowd.
12. Ronnie O'Sullivan 12.
That red is academic. Ronnie O'Sullivan, with the initial break of 64, manages to double his lead. He's not hit top gear yet, but he's still looking very comfortable against the teenager from Wales. O'Sullivan 2-0 up. A break of 64 in the previous frame, helping him to extend his advantage. He needs 3 more to go through. Mark Joyce awaits the winner. Let's just nip in on table 2, where Ding Junhui, a former champion here, of course. In fact, the China Open was Ding's first ever ranking title when he was a wild card. He didn't actually win any prize money for that event. He beat Stephen Hendry to claim his first ever prize. And he's now won 12 ranking titles in total, but he's dominating journeyman pro Paul Davison, leading by 3 frames to 0 now. So Ding in a hurry. And Ronnie O'Sullivan looking good as well at 2-0 up. Judd Trump is 1-0 up on Ashley Hugill. One or two other big hitters in action this afternoon. Aditya Mehta of
Ronnie O'Sullivan 3.
India 1-0 up on Lee Hang of China. And Stephen Maguire, former UK champion, 1-all with Fergal O'Brien.
Caught it a little thick and left O'Sullivan a chance at this long red. He may try and play the cannon to the black. Yep, he did, but didn't catch it thin enough.
O'Sullivan going for a hat-trick of China Open titles. Won back-to-back titles way back in 1999 and 2000. 17 years ago. And that's, I think, one of the most impressive aspects of O'Sullivan's extraordinary career, Joe, that he's been able to stay at the top for so long and win big titles in 3 different decades.
Yeah, and it seems to be getting better. It was only a couple of years ago where he took a year off, came back and won the World Championship, and seemed to be playing as good, if not better, than he's ever played.
Yeah, and to back that up, I think his all-round performance at the Welsh Open in 2016, which was his last ranking title, was as well as he's ever played in a sustained manner from start to finish. And that is saying something, because there have been plenty of candidates for O'Sullivan's best ever tournament, but I don't think he's ever played better than he did in Cardiff in 2016.
Good long pot, a little heavy for the blue, into the middle. Could take the blue to the corner. He's had a look at it now. Just got the right side for the blue. Not quite high enough to go into the reds, but maybe this time. No.
13.
Didn't quite get the pace right, and the green looks to be in the way of playing to bust the pack, so I may have to play for that last loose red. Needs a good kiss here, and how about that, he's developed the pink as well. Didn't play that, but when you play him well, you get that little rub of the ball.
19.
This time has the angle on the pink to open the reds, but it has travelled a little far, needs the rest. And develops another couple. Well, bridging over the reds, he played it with a lot of right-hand side on the cue ball to try and come round for the black. It didn't work out.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 26.
Great pop again.
1.
And has the angle on the brown if he wants to take it on. It's a tough shot, but has the angle to come down for the reds. And just sneaked it in. Wonderful little shot that, playing a beautiful cannon to the right, to the pink, developing it to the left corner, right corner pocket. Still got one more loose red.
Yes, I think it's fair to say O'Sullivan is really warming up now. Cueing superbly.
Didn't play for the black because he couldn't get to the next red. And he's overscrewed that one for the pink. So this red to the left middle, if you can get enough screw on the cue ball. Oh, he's got too much on. Overscrewed that by a distance.
19.
But a good 46-point lead and a red close to the cushion.
Once again, Gareth Allen comes to the table under huge pressure. Way behind, plenty of red still on, but potting them is a slightly trickier proposition.
Yeah, he could take that red onto the right corner as we're looking at it. Good shot. It has some safety value to it. If he had have missed it, doesn't matter too much about the black going in or not, but developing it, as far as he's concerned, good shot. Didn't think it was in.
No, we've seen one or two tables this season where that might well have stayed out.
8.
It did look as though it was travelling to the far jaw, and normally when that happens, when you pot them along the rail, or try to, they can remain on the lip of the pocket. Not so on this occasion. Ding Junhui, by the way, has motored into a 4-0 lead at the interval against poor old Paul Davison, who's hardly had a look in so far. And there is a possibility of an O'Sullivan-Ding showdown in the round of 16 here in Beijing. They both have one more round to get past, assuming they win today. What an occasion that would be. The crowd would be torn, Joe.
Yeah, it's a toss-up who they'd want to win. They love O'Sullivan so much over here. Well, it was a risky pot to take on, and almost certainly a frame loser. Could have brought that safe red off the cushion, played the safety.
Ronnie O'Sullivan back in with a golden chance to extend his lead to 3-0. O'Sullivan, of course, hasn't played as many tournaments as most of the top players over the last couple of seasons, and that's why his ranking is currently at a relatively lowly 13. And that adds extra intrigue, doesn't it, Joe, when it comes to the draw for the World Championship?
Yeah, because he's not up there, so he's going to be facing the top players sooner.
And they're going to be facing him.
Absolutely.
There could well be a few very tasty
21.
early round matchups in Sheffield.
22.
And it's only a couple of weeks away now, incredibly. Ding Kim Jung-wee has just knocked in a break of 131, by the way, in taking a 4-0 lead over Paul Davison. So Ding is in tremendous form himself. It's a small matter of a £30,000 bonus now, the rolling prize, should anyone make a maximum here in Beijing this week. It's been a while since we've seen one. Ronnie O'Sullivan, incredibly, has made 13 of them in professional competition. Another record on his CV, he's got plenty.
Yes, his timing of the ball is incredibly well. Brings that cue all the way back to his thumb.
52.
Higgins does the same, John Higgins. Great break.
Tremendous stuff from Ronnie O'Sullivan, who started a little scratchily, but he's got better and better with every passing frame, and he is totally dominating Gareth Allen right now, the Welshman with a mountain to climb already. 3-0 adrift. O'Sullivan needs 2 more, and 3-0 up, and queuing quite beautifully. So just a couple of frames away from booking his place in the round of 32 here, the 2 times China Open champion. Mark Joyce awaiting the winner. Gareth Allen, needless to say, desperate to get a frame on the board at least and feel part of this match. Stephen Maguire is 2-1 up on Fergal O'Brien, but O'Brien is 61 points up and on a break of 61 in the 4th, so that's looking like 2-all at the interval. Ricky Walden is another player who slipped out of the top 16 in recent times, a multiple ranking event winner and a finalist this season, but looking like he's going to have to qualify for Sheffield as Allen finds a red but has no position to go with it. He's 2-0 up on Nu Zhuang of China.
There's Allen 1.
Now just caught the red too thin, that's why he caught the middle pocket bump. Tough shot, but a half chance. Nicely done. Now imperative that he makes the most of this visit. He'd still be in the match at 3-1. And just didn't get into the cue ball enough. He wanted to be straighter on this red, so he could have got to the black. Oh, he still can, by using all of the pocket. Well, he's underhit that one, and this is a pressure shot now. Got to go into them. And he's unfortunate there. He struck that one well.
20.
Very unfortunate not to have been on a red. But at least he didn't miss the black.
Gareth Allen 20.
Not quite a snooker. And there was a plant there, but he couldn't get to it. Lots of left-hand side on the cue ball to avoid the kiss on the reds. Well, this red is on to the right corner, but it's fraught with danger. The one closest to the cushion. Very risky shot to take on, but that hasn't bothered him so far today. He's took them on and took that one on. And not too bad, it's finished up okay. The red may go to the middle, but very difficult to play for the black.
The way things have been going for Gareth Allen, you'd expected that red to rattle and stay right over the jaws of the pocket rather than go safe.
So another good chance. Well, couldn't see enough of it. And the chance falls to Gareth. Again, he was a little fortunate there, Gareth Allen, not to have left a red on. Good pot, but not such a good kiss. Wanted to miss the black. So just the safety.
Green ball. Gareth Allen 1.
Well, it could be a red on here to the left corner. The chance of getting the cue ball back towards the baulk area. Should be able to just miss the red by the black spot. And he'll settle for that, even though there is a red on. See enough of that one. Yeah, great pot. Managed to dodge all the reds, and that's a pretty good kiss on the yellow. Has the angle on the yellow to come back down for the reds. Well, a little heavy on this red to the left corner. Probably played for the red by the pink. Now you might just be able to get through the gap to the black. Hasn't looked at it yet, but I think he can. Again, could have took the black, but it would have tied the black up with all the spots being held. Well, tried to disturb the reds and only just hit them. He was a little unfortunate there. Oh, he doesn't want it to spot there, that's for sure. Another good pot with the rest. He keeps playing good recovery shots. Again, that seemed to be a big bounce off the cushion.
28.
Just ticking it in his stride. Looks like both reds will go. And now this has turned into a frame winning chance.
O'Sullivan has never been a player who complains about a bad contact or a surprising bounce. He just gets on with it. In fact, he's of the view that when you get a kick, it can often be caused by just not cueing the ball as well as you might. That's a controversial view, not one shared universally, certainly, but that's what O'Sullivan has told us in the past, that he feels as though it's a result of him not cueing quite as well as he normally would, which is why he just gets on with it.
37.
Yeah, Stephen Hendry said the same thing to me once. Another excellent shot. And cannon to the pink. 23 points the difference. So red and the black after this pink would be enough, but I don't think the red goes. He's going to have to do something with the cue ball. I think he tried to just catch it half ball. Don't think this red goes. So still needs another red and a colour.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 51.
Ronnie O'Sullivan's third half century of the match so far. He's looking good for 4-0.
And again, a very dangerous red to take on. Brave to take on. It was on the black. Good chance of a clearance had it gone in. But a good chance this now for Alan.
Not only a good chance, but surely a critical one. If he's to have any chance of having a say in this match, he has to make this count.
Doesn't want the kiss on the yellow, especially half ball. Well, he's been here before. Gareth Allen in the first frame, he lost position.
7.
And that's not the best positional shot he's ever played.
10.
Can he get to the cue ball? No, he's bridging. So this is difficult. Well played. Although couldn't get position on the green, and this is the same thing that happened in the first frame. It's the same shot. This green.
And he's overcut it. Oh, goodness me, how did that drop?
Yeah, but he's still in trouble. He's snookered now.
Had to put everything into the pot, didn't he? And it looked as though he'd missed it.
Well, because he hit it too thin, he's lost the cue ball. Had it gone in clean, he'd probably be on the brown.
This was a great chance for Gareth Allen to get his first frame on the board. He may yet, but he's in a bit of a pickle at the moment.
Very nearly potted it.
There's Alan,
Has he
14.
got it safe? I think he has.
O'Sullivan 14 in front, so if he pots the brown, the best Allen can do is a tie-break black.
Yes, another good, excellent safety from Ronnie O'Sullivan. Could have done without the kiss. Well, the blue going safe favours Ronnie O'Sullivan. O'Sullivan just needs the brown and Allen would be able to tie. Good pot. Now O'Sullivan just needs the blue.
There's Alan, 4.
Crucial moments these for that young man. Surely has to win this frame. If he can, he'll feel a lot better going into the interval.
That blue is going dangerously close to that baulk corner. Tough shot this. But you feel he's got to take it on. The safety's just as difficult. Now, where's it going to finish? He needs a bit of luck, Ronnie O'Sullivan. Didn't get it. Left the blue on. Although I don't think the pink passes the black. So not straightforward. Not quite hard enough for the pink to the middle, which is what he played. But a chance. And he's got to play this at pace to come back round for the black. Good pot. Could have done with playing it a bit harder.
A black ball game then, for either 4-0 or 3-1. Well, he went for the pot there. He seemed to rush it. But could be worse.
I think he went for the cut there.
He did.
So another chance for Alan. The cue ball's going to be travelling. Be close to the middle.
Is to reduce the arrears and stay in the match. Oh my goodness me, he hit that so thick. Perhaps he was conscious of the possible in-off.
Well, never tried to avoid it.
Oh, there's a humdinger from Ronnie O'Sullivan to rub salt into Gareth Allen's already gaping wound. The crowd enjoyed that one, a bit of magic from the Rocket, who's produced a very solid session of snooker there. 3 half centuries, 64, 59 and 51 on his way to a very commanding 4-0 advantage. When they resume, he needs just one more to go through.
Just missed the blue there. And normally when that happens, normally finish up with the snooker behind the green. Full ball kiss on the yellow leaves it a chance for Ronnie O'Sullivan. Yeah, great pot. Tried to get the cue ball the right side of the blue, and he has done that, so he could play for the red, the loose red, just above the black. Side on the cue ball to try and create the angle to finish on the red and open the reds up. He couldn't have played that much better, but unfortunately he hasn't nudged anything out. He's opened them, but doesn't look as though anything's available, and not the ideal angle on the black to go into them with any pace.
Ronnie O'Sullivan, 14.
The defending China Open champion Judd Trump is in action this evening, by the way. It's quite unusual for Trump not to be on one of the main match tables, but of course with O'Sullivan and Ding playing, he's had to take second billing this evening in Beijing. He's 3-1 up on Ashley Hugel.
Very difficult to see a way back to balk from that. Well, this is a good attempt to get the cue ball back to balk, and very unfortunate again to have brought that red down the table and for it to have kissed the yellow. Look at where he got the cue ball there, Gareth. Very, very good shot. And he's going to reap the rewards from that good safety. Tough shot that Sullivan took on there.
One. Four. Five.
Just sneaked in.
Allen has yet to make a break of any significance in this match. Needless to say, he's at the last chance saloon. He is a capable player, former Welsh amateur championship runner-up, qualified for a professional tour card via Q School back in 2015. And he's made 14 professional centuries since doing so, just the one this season. But he is only 18. Mind you, Ronnie O'Sullivan was a UK champion by that age.
Yeah, not many Ronnie O'Sullivans about. But he couldn't have played that one any better, Gareth. He's left himself absolutely perfect on that red to nudge the other red away, and that's turned this break into a good chance.
He's certainly an attacking player, isn't he? He gets on with it.
Yeah, he does, and he's gone for his shots, to be fair.
24.
Been unfortunate a couple of times.
25.
The crowd are very pro O'Sullivan. That's not to say they're anti Gareth Allen. They just love the rocket, but they want to see some more snooker here, so I think they'll be
33.
cheering on the Welshman here in his bid to avoid the dreaded whitewash. Well, that's not ideal. He was a little bit lower than he wanted on the black there, wasn't he? And he had to once again put everything into the pot.
Yes, he's failed with his position a couple of times and it's cost him a couple of frames, although he can get to this red.
41.
Couldn't get ideally on the black.
It's already his best break of the match. Can he make it a frame-winning one? Great chance to do so now.
48.
Well, I think he deserves a frame. Gareth Allen could have won 2 of the frames. Failed on the getting position on the green both times.
56. 57.
He's taken these very well, hasn't he? Given what's gone before, this is a good effort from Allen. Not quite over the winning line yet, though.
Now needs another red and a colour to be safe. The red will leave O'Sullivan only able to tie. Oh, and he should have made sure of that red.
That's Allen 64.
Oh, he can't believe it.
So Allen makes his best break of the match, but it's not decisive. He has, however, got one of the reds in an awkward position.
1.
Yes, but if O'Sullivan could take the yellow at some stage, that would free the red going in there.
8.
If you can't do that, then easy enough to play the snooker in behind the yellow.
9.
Anxious times these for Gareth Allen.
15.
35 behind, 43 on. O'Sullivan requesting the extension for the rest. This is awkward.
Well, he's got the angle on the blue to try and drop him behind the red or move it.
16.
Played to move it. Now where's that cue ball going to finish? Behind the blue. He never thought about that one.
21.
That was unlucky. To find a gap between yellow and red took a bit of doing. Of course, he didn't want to find the gap. 29 the difference, 35 on. Nothing safe, aside from the red, at the moment at least. Well, he hits the red, but it's a chance for Allen.
Yeah, there's a lot of pressure on this shot though, because he knows there's nothing safe. If he misses the red, it could be all over.
And if he pots it, O'Sullivan will need a snooker. Undercut it.
Played that cue ball safe just in case.
It's looking like a red ball game now then, with the colours invitingly placed. Gareth Allen, if he is to go on to lose this match, and possibly 5-0, will reflect on some good chances that have slipped through his fingers.
That little flick on the black there from Ronnie O'Sullivan has left Gareth snookered. And again, not a bad kiss on blue. Left Gareth snookered again, although he might be able to get in behind the red. Send the red down the table, leave the cue ball there. Oh, he caught it first. But not a disaster. Played it too thin. So another chance for Gareth Allen.
He only needs the red, and O'Sullivan will need a snooker. Oh, goodness me. That elusive first frame remains just that.
Well, he couldn't have got any closer, could he? Just rattled and stayed out. Is that red going to finish? Oh, fear the worst.
Well, Gareth Allen can't say that he hasn't had chances, particularly in the last two frames, both of which he should really have won. And then the match would have had a rather different complexion, but ifs, buts and maybes don't win matches.
6.
It's not over yet, of course, but it's out of his hands for the moment.
8.
It was very nearly great.
But it is another let-off for Gareth Allen. Didn't play the blue all that well. Should have been straighter on the yellow, which would have left an easy green.
So 21 the difference with 25 left.
O'Sullivan 8.
Gareth Allen still requires just one ball to get to the snooker's required stage. You won't ask for that one back.
No, again, I think he played the double into the corner pocket, but played the cue ball as well, just in case he missed it. Now, will he play the double again? I think he did. Where's it gonna finish? I think it's cuttable. Yeah, just caught the paint. And look at the kiss. Deserved it from such a thin shot on the green. He knows he's had his chances.
7.
Should have won 3 of these frames.
But it looks like a whitewash win for the Rocket. Twice the China Open champion in the last millennium. Can he make it a hat-trick this week?
18.
Just the black then to round off what has been a very comfortable evening in Beijing for the Rocket. And then it goes. Well, Gareth Allen certainly had his chances, particularly in the last couple of frames. He'll know that better than anyone. Ronnie O'Sullivan not at his brilliant best, but